All right, seriously, of all the topics that everybody can bring up all the time, especially ones such as mental health concerns, well, let me tell you something. What the focus needs to be on are root issues. You know, we are so caught up with treating symptoms rather than preventing and preventative medicine and things in our life that we need to focus on to make sure that things don't happen rather than how to treat them after they do. And that's the same thing that would be applied towards something like an issue such as mental health. I mean, a lot of the reasons why people are not healthy mentally, it's not because of some genetic predisposition, not because of some kind of genetic anomaly, not because of some kind of psychological shortcoming. It's not because of any of those things. A lot, if not most of the time, I would say. What it is, it stems from things in their life that are out of line with the way that nature intended. People were not meant to get up and go sit in a cubicle for 40 hours a week and live in this little box for years and years and years of their life, all the while their desires, their hormones, their everything, all is pulling them to be elsewhere. And they can't be. They can't afford to be. And so because of that, it tends to lead to states of depression, tends to lead to anxiety, stress. Already the place where they're pretty much being forced to spend all of this time throughout the week and throughout the year, not being where they want to be because they're not passionate about what they're doing. They're not in love with the process that they're part of every day. They're not working towards their goals. The things that they want are so far out of reach, they can't even begin to figure out how to get them. And so because of all these things, it causes this despair. And I don't know how anybody could possibly get through all that and not feel some form of depression and anxiety and fear. I mean, fear really, not that something could happen, but that something doesn't happen, that everything just stays the same, that there isn't a break from all of the madness of mediocrity, from all of the stress and the worry. Oh my God. That's got to have an effect on somebody. And if it has an effect on one person, believe that it can have an absolute effect on a population. So until we start addressing issues like financial education and self-awareness, my God, some of the most basic logical things that there are out there that people need to seriously understand, things like self-awareness. Oh my God, I just don't know how many people that I run into a week that I'm like, come on, man, really? Are you seriously saying that? Are you seriously doing that? Are you seriously thinking that way? Holy crap. How have you made it this far in life without, I don't know, wandering into traffic or something? How have you managed to stay alive? How have you paid your bill? You have a car? How did you get the discipline to just even to do that? How did you buy that? Like, it's crazy to me. Because some of the most basic, simple things that every person should have at a point in their life where they're considered a mature adult, they do not have, and yet somehow they're still managing to function. Now, not function very well most of the time, but they're getting by. And I tell you, it's a major problem. This total lack of self-awareness. People have literally no idea what the fuck they're doing half the time. They just don't. Like, they just bumble through life and kind of, oops, didn't mean for that to happen. Oops. Geez, wish that would happen. Oops. And every single one of them wants to have a better position. They want to have, more money. They want to have a better life. They want to have less problems. They want to have all these things, but yet they will not take the time to develop the skills that individually every single person has to develop in their own unique way, in their own unique capacity. They literally will not spend any time to do this. I know people who will spend dozens of hours a week at doing anything that they can, aside from things that will give them more knowledge or a skill set, or I don't know, any kind of activity that essentially will give them a return on investment of their time for doing it. And sorry, I'm distracted. I'm driving, obviously. And it's just blows my mind that so many people will continue to go their whole life just bitching, complaining, and miserable because things don't change. Yet they will not take any kind of challenge. They will not take any kind of risk. They will not take any kind of, I don't know, standpoint on something that's bigger than what they know, than what's predictable, than what they've seen from everybody else around. They don't want to do anything. They just want to complain and bitch. Most of the time, that is the absolute case. I don't care what you say. If there's, but Bob over there, poor guy, he's just never been given a fair shake. You know something? Bob and I, we both weren't given a fair shake. But the difference is, I fought through it. I powered through it. I kept on going. Bob just wants to sit there on the couch and collect an unemployment check because, hey, it's the path of least resistance, and because, hey, the government's giving out money, and because, hey, if you can get away with not working, then why wouldn't you? Because, hey, we're getting over on them. Might as well take all you can get while you can get it, right? Well, Bob's a fucking idiot. Okay? Bob is a moron. Bob is a lazy piece of shit who deserves to, go into the age of retirement. And, I mean, of course, the definition of retirement is living on half of what you couldn't live on before. Wow. Yeah. Bob's going to go into the age of retirement being broke and miserable, never being able to afford to do anything because he always took the easy path. He always took the easy route and everything that he did. And now look, Bob is actually such a low-minded person, and as a matter of fact, that he's the kind of person that will literally sit there and calculate just how much money he can get without doing anything by collecting unemployment or COVID checks or whatever. I mean, I literally know people who spent time masterminding the I don't know, the process or the whatever it was that they put together in order to set up fake email addresses and socials and all that stuff in order to scam the government out of getting more COVID checks from them. I've literally met people that have gotten like 60 checks. Yeah, it's incredible. But it took them a ton of time and a ton of thought work into figuring out how to develop a scam like that. But here all this time, they could have spent that much time and that much effort and focus and energy and discipline, the discipline that it took to do something like that. But they won't do it towards something that's legitimate. They won't do it towards something that's going to give them, a skill past a certain point. Sometimes people will learn a skill, or they'll do something, or they'll build something out, but it's got a shelf life to it. It's not going to be something that can go for an indefinite period of time without having some major evolution in some point, or without you having to create or develop a whole nother thing behind it in order to keep it going. That's another problem. People will spend too much time focusing on the wrong things. Well, Bob's one of those guys. So, if you're somebody like me who's been given, their fair serving of bullshit in life, like we all have, and you fight through it, okay, that's great. You have guys like him, they've been given, a decent amount, they've been getting something that it was a challenge for them. But the thing is they continue to accept that victimhood, of being just challenged and defeated by opposition, or by the government, or by Trump, or by Biden, or whatever, whoever, blah blah blah. So most people absolutely are just flat out fucking lazy, and it's really not a quality that I recommend. Let me tell you, I've had my bouts, and still do, with wanting to put things off, and procrastination, and just not taking action when I should, when you should. And it's definitely had a cost that for all I know could be immeasurable. But the point is, I'm self-aware of it. I'm conscious of it. Whenever I do things, 9 times out of 10, more like 99 out of 100, I'm completely aware of what every single potential outcome could be before I do it. I flowchart everything. Everything. If I'm planning on doing anything from going into a business meeting to booking a trip, whatever it is, I see every angle that can possibly present itself, and every potential outcome past that point too, for each one of the potential outcomes. You see? So I'm basically mapping out everything that I do, and flow charting everything. There's a process to every single move that I make. There's a point to it. Everything is calculated. Everything is planned out. And this happens sometimes over a prolonged period of time, like maybe hours, maybe days. I've thought about things for weeks before I set them in motion. And I can tell you this, it's paid off tremendously, because let's just say that success leaves clues, and the clues that anybody can see from my decision-making abilities would prove that what I'm saying is absolutely correct. And anybody out there who has experienced any kind of success, any level of success in whatever it is that you're doing, and I don't just mean monetarily, I mean if you're running a successful family, if you're running a successful business, if you have a skill that you do something very, very well, you understand that you look at things differently than people who are just tourists, who are just stopping by and taking a look, right? You're looking at every single thing at a more calculated level than an amateur is. And somebody who is novice to things such as business and life skills and all that, they don't understand, they don't have yet the self-awareness much of the time to know that you can literally predict the future. And if you have the ability to predict the future, and you don't even have to be 100%, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, that happens like this every single time. You just have to be right more times than not. Really, it's got to come down to you understanding that the more you go into any situation knowing the potential risks and potential outcomes, the better it is for you to plan your strategy to make sure that you make the correct decision, to make sure that you're making the right move. And the person who goes into situations and doesn't consider these things and doesn't take a look at all of the potential factors and angles of a situation, those are usually the people who make the dumbest mistakes. Most of the time, it's always that guy, oh, there's Rob down there. Oh, he screwed up something again. Yeah, that's it. Fucking Rob, man. He's always doing some stupid shit. Yeah, because Rob never takes time to think about anything that he does. He just acts on impulse. He just acts on emotion. He's just an emotional person, and damn it, he's gonna act on it. There's literally nothing that's gonna stop him from just doing whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants to, the second that he thinks it. Nothing. And that's how most people operate out here. Yeah, out here. Especially out here. It's just nuts. It is absolutely crazy. And it's no wonder that you can take a look around and you see everybody and it's like the same exact story. It's the same exact conversation with everybody. How you doing? Yeah. All right. Getting by. Yeah. Just gotta go to work, Working. Oh yeah? $16 an hour, huh? Well, how about this? What if I could tell you that I could get you into a situation where you can make $1,000 a week? Wow, really? $1,000 a week? Man, that's a lot more than my $340 a week that I've been making here at Starbucks. $1,000 a week is significantly more than that. I would have to agree. So, what do you say? Let's get you in, get you trained. I could say probably within the next 3 to 6 weeks, you should be sitting on a lot of money. Save you tons of time, obviously, from having to work all those slave hours at Starbucks, and you'll have something to show for it. Yeah, that sounds great, man. Yeah, well, all right, sounds good. I'm glad that you agree. And how about this? I'm gonna be holding a training for a group of new hires this Wednesday. Why don't you come on into the office, 10 a.m. And this is usually where it's, oh yeah, I can't make it this Wednesday. Yeah, I have to work. Oh my God, man. This is fucking bananas. It's bananas. I'm telling you right now, everybody is just in love with the idea of self-improvement because it's the trendy thing. It's the fashionable thing. Like, what are you gonna, be at a cocktail party and sitting around with your martini and talking with everybody, and they all start saying, geez, yeah, I'm really into self-improvement and self-help videos and books and tapes, and I'm gonna go to the seminar and this course. And how about you, Brad? Aren't you a Tony Robbins fan? Don't you just love self-improvement? Motivation? Dale Carnegie? Oh my God, Napoleon Hill? What do you think? Brad's gonna look over there at Kate and say, nah, nope, I hate it. In fact, I'm way too lazy to do anything like that. I really don't give a shit because, you know, my life is fine the way that it is. I have a roof over my head, have a little bit of money in my pocket. That's good. That's all I want. I'm good to go. He's not going to say that. Like, he'd be looked at crazy. You know, of course he has to be into the things that most people culturally are. I mean, that's the way that it is with just about everything, isn't it? Our ideas of, you know, career paths, our ideas on education, our you know, cultural similarities and customs and, you know, pop culture and, I mean, everything. Religion. Don't even get me started on that shit. But that's the way that it is. I mean, everybody just kind of falls in order. They all fall in line to what everybody else is doing because that's just the way that it's supposed to be. It's what your parents did. It's what they taught you. It's what your friends do. It's what everybody around you's done. And it's the sensible thing. You know, it's a very sensible thing to do. You know, is to do it this way. You know, protect your future. Make sure you guys go to college. Go to college and study some fucking random subject. And oh my God, I've heard some real crazy ones too. My goodness, this guy I know literally got a degree in I don't know, art history or something like that. It was, yeah, I think it was art history. And he's in debt, you know, tens and tens of thousands of dollars from student loans. After, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, he's still got debt and still makes no money. Obviously doesn't work anywhere near some kind of job that resembles, like, there's no semblance whatsoever of what he went to school for and got in debt for to what he does now to earn a paycheck. There's none. There is no, there is nothing there at all. So he basically just did all that for, I don't know, a personal interest or a hobby, or, good Lord, I would have hoped that it would be a personal interest or a hobby because that would have been some painful thing, man, to have sat through all of that, all those courses, all of those lectures, all of those tests and hours spent, and all of that debt now and time wasted over something that he could have done, I don't know, with a library card and a few trips to Barnes and Noble. My God, man. People are really, really crazy. And on top of that, they don't even take a look around. It's like they're going to take advice from every person around them who are all also broke. Like, you know, once I hit the age of reason, the things that people around me, family mostly, but, you know, just the world in general, was trying to tell me, I would instantly fall back to looking at how they were living in contrast to the things that they were trying to instill in me and teach me. And if it was not always hypocritical to one degree or another, or fake, or just out of alignment with logic and common sense, which that was mostly the case. It was completely, things were completely out of alignment with logic and common sense. And so once I hit the age of reason and I could see all of those things and add them up for myself, like, I didn't believe them. I didn't actually do what those people were telling me. I didn't just accept it and not question anything. It's like everybody just was fed something and they had the choice to spit it out if they didn't like the way that it tasted, and you know, explore other flavors. most people just said, hey, this is what we're running with. It's the first thing I've tasted. I see that there's a whole bunch of other options over there. In fact, we're at a fucking buffet. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this, okay? I'm gonna stick with this flavor right here. It might be plain, dry, flavorless oats. And yeah, over there, you know, it looks like there's a possibility that there could be some pretty good flavors over there. But you know what? I'm just gonna stick with this because, you know, it must be okay. They're giving this to everybody. It's really nuts. It's just really crazy. Every single thing that you guys were told. Most of the things were completely bullshit. And if they weren't, then why are the people who told you them just completely living a life less than what they want? I mean, you can chop that up however you want. I can sit here and give examples so that every individual viewer has something that's uniquely custom tailored to exactly to fit the people that they know in their world, who you know, who you don't, what applies to you in your situation. But we all get what I'm saying. Like, most people that are out there are not just fucking happy. They're not just sitting there going, man, my life is just fan-fucking-tastic. It's phenomenal. I'm having a great day. How are you? Ha 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 ha. It's not the case. And even the people that are walking around smiling, it's really just because, you know, they might just be good-natured, you know? But I'll tell you what, they go home. You know, the world's not there to see. That person can be breaking down on their knees, crying, and scared, and lost, and just not wanting to let everybody else in so that they can be judged, because there are so many of those out there. We all know that. That's why this was such a interesting thing for me to take on, you know, to document a lot of the processes that I've been over the past few months, because you realize that when you put yourself out to the world and when you try to speak from the heart and you really have a genuine interest and a genuine desire to give positive, uplifting information and speak on things that can mean something to somebody, if only just one person, and to really have that desire and that goal in mind, and have to think to yourself, what if a lot of people don't like it? What if a lot of people don't agree? Oh my God. To have the, because, you know, for just a second, I mean, you have to consider the fact that what you say might just be in alignment with 99 people, but out of alignment with one, and that one decides to, you know, just let you have it. You have to be a strong-minded individual these days, because now it only takes one. It only takes one person to go on a tirade to somebody and just really ruin their day. Really ruin the potential for them to do anything, because they feel like maybe there's a possibility that that one person said was true. And if you don't have a superior level, if you don't have a very, very strong degree of self-confidence and understanding of what you're doing, and a really high level of resolve and fortitude, my God, fortitude. I really have to wonder how many people out there even understand what the word means. So many limp-wristed, spineless jellyfish that exist now. It's really sad. It's really sad. We all want to go celebrate 4th of July and forget all the while that it's not just a day to go pop off a bunch of colorful explosives. It's a day to celebrate the birth of something, an idea, really more than a country, an idea. And that idea was something that was fought for by men knowing that they were most likely going to die to get it. Whether the possibility was within arm's reach. I mean, it was very, very close possibility that you're going to say, you know what, yeah, American Revolution, let's do it. Let's go up against these huge, great armies and these overwhelming odds and, muster the strength as if things weren't hard enough already. I mean, good God, could you imagine living in that time? The hardships just from that compared to what we have now. And, yeah, people literally don't have the fortitude to even bear the ridicule of one person. Couldn't take it. They fall down like a deck of cards, And this is just the start. We're gonna have a lot of long talks together. I think that I think it's time to start shedding some light on all those lost in the dark. Because there's few people out there that have the ability to articulate certain information. And while I don't have all of the information, I have a lot. More than most. And so people out there that are in the fight against the ignorance of man to awaken and arouse the spirits and minds and hearts and to muster again the courage in man. This is the cause. This is one worth fighting for. Holy shit. I'm gonna have to draw this one short because I have to go. We'll talk again.